Hi there, this is Bishop. I just want to go through a couple points raised by all the comments that I received. So I went through everything and I think I've come up with a few key points. One of them is to change the formation to something that's a little bit more simple. And I decided to do this because I think it will conserve some of our energy. However, if this system that we try out doesn't work, then we might go back to the other system and try that out. I'm a little bit hesitant to switch systems before we really even give it a good try, but from your feedback, it seems as if it might be easier just to, you know, be a little bit more conservative and have a little bit more simplicity in our formation, so we can be a little bit more free to express ourselves. So anyway, as you can see right here, the red is us, and we are playing in this system right now, or in this setup right now, a 4-4-2. This 4-4-2 can look different. I mean, this forward can drop off, this forward can go forward. They can also drop back into space if they need to pick up the ball. Other players can go in front of them if they need to. So it's not just they're not static. But these two players are they might be what we call luxury players. They drop back on defense to try to help out, but they're not crucial to our defensive efforts. Going forward, they play off of each other and they serve as an outlet to keep the ball and to push on to goal if they have a shot, but mostly just to kind of hold up the ball and make a play happen, bring other players into the game. Okay, so that's what these two players are. And I'm not really going to play around with the blue team at all. They're just our opponents, and you know, I'll just focus on this right here. So here are some responsibilities for various positions. These two players, the fullback and the midfielder, the right midfielder, and same thing over here for that fullback and for this midfielder. Let's see who that is on the lineup. Here's a little lineup right here. So for our midfielders, that's going to be like our right midfielder is going to be Janina and Erica, and Marlena is going to be our fullback. Now, you have to form a close communication partnership with the fullback really determining where this midfielder is when we're playing defense. The fullback is always in the midfielder's ear, telling them to drop back, to push forward, to mark a certain player to the left or to the right or whatever. The fullback tells this midfielder where to go because the fullback can see most of the field and they know where the dangerous player is. So, and you can see on the other side it's going to be Allison D and either Bank or Dan. We'll start off with Bank, starting off as fullback. So let's say that they've got a player like over here and a player right here, and they've got the ball. Okay, it doesn't really matter where the ball is in the pitch. But it's obviously more important when the ball's closer to this side of the pitch. When the ball's over on this side of the pitch, this fullback needs to tell this midfielder what to do in the situation. If, in this case, it looks as if this fullback should tell the midfielder to go forward and press this player and then step up and mark this player. That way we're cutting off some of their options on offense. Generally the rule is, if there's a player, you can mark that player and you can push up to mark that player, but you generally want to kind of stay back a little bit and try to play a little bit towards this back line. But if there's the most farthest player forward, you get them on fullback, but then you got to tell this midfielder to mark whoever is remaining over here. If this plays way over here, then obviously you're not going to be marking them. You're going to tell this midfielder to mark them until somebody else comes over to this side and you tell them to go push forward, and then you've got this player coming up over here. Okay? Alright. So, that's the communication between you two. Also, when we have the ball, and we've got the ball wide, let's say we've got the ball over here, the fullback here serves as an outlet to you. Now, to the midfielder. Now, this fullback, if we can do an overlap, which means just running over the run, or an underlap, going underneath the ball, right here, to create some space and to pass the ball into. But you and the wing, or the midfielder right here, you two are going to be really moving the ball back and forth between yourself. You're always going to be an option for this midfielder as a fullback, and vice versa. If the fullback has a ball, this midfield player should always be an option, either going forward or coming back to the ball. Usually it's going to be coming back to the ball and providing an option for them. So that you two are always going to be kind of connected to each other in some way, either offensively when you're making an offensive passing lane for each other, or defensively when the fullback is telling the winger or the midfielder what to do. Okay, now since we're over here, we might as well just talk about the spacing and where these players play. The fullback has, I think this is very important, if we draw like kind of like a heat map or an area where the fullback should be playing. The fullback should be playing generally in this area right here. Generally, okay. Now the fullback can push up and go on to goal if you've got a wide, if you're in on a run, you can kick the ball over here. But 90% of the time you're going to be over here, and most of the time you're going to be even squeezed back further than this. Okay. Now the winger is going to be providing an outlet to get width when we have the ball on offense. So let's say we have the ball over here. You can provide width over here, but you're also thinking, okay, you're also thinking that you are a defensive player and that you get back on defense and pull in towards the middle when we have lost the ball. So you provide here an outlet on the wing, but you're not a forward. Okay, so the farthest forward you really should be getting is, I'll draw a little box for you now, is something like this. Okay. On our other system where the 4-2-3-1, you would be going all the way back and all the way forward. You'd be running like crazy. But I wanted to conserve your energy for this game, and also to keep us with width on offense. So you're going to be staying generally in this area right here. You can make a run in on goal if it's open, but for the most part you're providing support, and you're there to give that decisive pass to a streaking forward who's not too far in front of you where you can make that pass. Okay? Or you're making a cross or whatever it is. This player again is going to be Janine or Erica, and on this side it's going to be Alice and D the whole game. So this is the same on this side over here. It's just symmetrical. So your position right here is just going to be in this area right there. When you're on defense, you drop back to try to make yourself compact. This is our general defensive philosophy, is that we make ourselves compact on defense, like this. So they can't get us with any through balls. We push them towards the side because at this level it takes a special talent to be able to cross the ball very accurately into the box, and we've got some tall players and some good defenders and a good goalie to punch the ball clear. So stay compact on defense. These wings drop back, and almost as close to a central midfielder as you possibly can, but you're coming back, you're an outside midfielder. You're coming back to kind of drop in and give defensive support when we lose the ball. Okay? Now, let's talk about our two midfielders here in a 4-4-2. Okay? So this player right here is Becky. This is 8 Becky. And this would be Matt right here. Matt's right there. Now, for this game, I'd like to have Becky be more of a defensively minded midfielder, and I have Matt push forward a little bit. You players, when you're on defense, you're going to get your instruction from the center back. So that's either me or that's Allie. So if Allie is telling you to move left or move right, you do that because you can't see all the field around you, but the center back can. So the center back is going to be telling you what to do when you're on defense. And you try again to stay as compact as you can. You're not going to be wandering too far over here or too far forward. We need you as a screen for our back four. Okay, so when we get the ball, let's say we get the ball right here. We're going to have Matt push forward in this arrangement, and Becky's going to stay central to be our defensive midfielder. Okay, you're there, Becky, to provide support for the offense. The offense they can pass back to you. You're there to provide support for the wing player if they're out here. You're there to provide a pass here. A forward should be making a run right here. You don't always have to play into the forwards. Like we said, Becky said in a nice comment there that we don't always have to be playing forward. It might have been Becky, I'm not quite sure. We don't always have to play this forward run right here. We can play backwards. Unless this run is completely open, then we should be playing to it. So Becky's going to be here providing support, but not too far out because you don't want to crowd the wingers or the midfielders or the fullbacks. You want to give a good space in between you and the ball if it's out on the side, so you can be here as an outlet. But you're there as an outlet, and to move the ball quickly around you're like a pivot point for our offense, like a Pirlo. You pivot the ball, you move it very quickly to the next person. Matt has a little bit more license to go forward, and you're going to be playing with these two forwards up here. But you also have to run and bust your butt back. It's going to be very exhausting, but bust back on defense and provide that extra midfielder right here in the 4-4-2 when we don't have the ball. But otherwise, let's just kind of draw a little circle here for Becky. So for Becky, Becky's going to be really kind of running this area in here, if not further back. So the farthest forward you really go is right about here. You rarely have more than 2 or 3 players behind you, even when we have the ball. So you're kind of as this defensive outlet, while Matt has a little bit more license. Matt's back here, but Matt has a little bit more license. I'm drawing circles over circles to get forward. Okay? This is Matt's region right here, where he's going to be mostly in this region over here. Okay? Matt's going to be playing a little bit more off of the front 2 forwards, which are, as we see over here, Ivan, and Tyler and Baum. Okay? So, let's go back over here. I think we covered just about everything. Yeah, I think we just about did. When we move forward, we're going to be, just so you know, on defense, when we have the ball, when we're up here and we've got possession, it sounds like we had a lot of possession last game and we had the ball mostly in their half. But when we do have the ball in their half, we want to make sure our center backs and our full backs are pushed up at least a half field, probably a little bit more, so that when we perhaps lose the ball, we lose the ball, oh, we lost the ball. If we're pushing up here, then we have a chance to smother any quick counterattack. All right, so if they pass the ball right here, we attack the ball quickly, and we're just within a few feet of their counterattack. That way it doesn't give any gaps for them to play into and then make us have some trouble off the ball. So if we have a gap, let's say we have a gap like this, then look at this. They have a pass right there. It's wide open. We can't really go to intercept that, but we can, and we're a little bit hesitant to even slow the ball down because we see all these other players sprinting forward, and it all of a sudden makes us very, very vulnerable in the back. So it's important to make sure that this gap right here does not exist. So that means our central defenders need to be up, pushing and stopping and smothering and slowing down a quick counterattack. You slow it down for at least as long as it takes for our defenders to come back and recover. Okay? So no gap here when we have the ball. That means we're all going to be moving forward as a group, and we're all going to be coming back as a group. That pretty much covers it. Let me know if I need to say anything else. But I think this should make sense for our next game. It should simplify things a little bit more. Stay in your regions as much as you can, and yeah, we should be good. We've got the skill to do this. So I'll see you early on Sunday. Our game's at 5, but I'll see you at 4:30. Okay.